guys, here is the math for Wednesday, May 13th. So it'll say lesson 6-7 up at the top, okay? So what we've got here is we have some missing numbers, okay? So for each of these, we want to get to 20, okay? Now in this one, we're starting at 14. So we need to think, how many more would I need to count up that would get me to 20, okay? Well, if I'm at 14, I'm just gonna kind of use my fingers here. I'll say 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, so that's 5, 20, so that would be 6. So my missing number here would be 6, okay? So for these next three, here you're gonna start with 12. What would I have to add to get up to 20? Here I'm at 11, what would I need to add to get up to 20? Here I'm at 13, what else would I need to add to get me up to 20? Okay, so I'll have you do those three on your own. Okay, how many stars are there in all? Well, Meg has 3, Dan has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and Jen has 1, 2. So here, let's write those down. She's got 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then Jen has 2. So what you're gonna do, you'll add all of those together, and that'll tell you how many stars there are in all. Because remember, in all, we add them together. Name something that is about 1 foot long, okay? So here's what I want you to do. Look at the width of your paper, okay? That is about 8.5 inches, okay? So a foot is a little bit longer. Actually, look at the length of your paper. Your paper is 11 inches, okay? So think of something that's about 1 inch longer than the long side of your paper, okay? That's about a foot. So using a piece of paper is a pretty good reference. So something that's about the same size as the long side of your paper. So go ahead, write that down, and then we'll get some ideas, and I'll give you something that I can think of when we come back. Aaron can jump about 1 foot high. John can jump about 2 feet high. How much higher can John jump? Okay, so think about that. How much higher? We talked about this and about what type of clue words we can be looking for. How much longer, higher, heavier, taller? We know that those all indicate subtraction, okay? So think about it. If Aaron can jump 1 foot and John can jump 2 feet, how much higher is John's 2 feet than Aaron's 1 feet? So give that a try right there. Who read the most books? Who read the fewest books? Okay, so we've got Juan, Lily, Grace, and Terrell. Okay, and we've got our bar graphs here. Now over on the side, these are the number of books that they read. Now it's counting by 2s. So if there's one of these lines, like right this one, that's in between, well, what number comes between 4 and 6? Well, that would be 5. So if it's in between, you're gonna look, the number would be in between those numbers. But really all we need to know is who read the most and who read the least. So go ahead and write those down. And then write a number story to match the number model, okay? So it's 4 plus 6 minus 5. So think of something that could happen where first you'd be adding 4 plus 6 and then you would take away 5. Okay, and yours is going to be a lot different from mine, but that is okay, and we can I'll go over what I came up with when we come back. So go ahead, pause the video to do your work, and we'll go over these together when we come back. Okay, so we went over some of this before we left. We did the first one, so we know that we're looking to get up to 20 right here, okay? Now, what I want to think about is, well, I know in 12 I've got a 10 and then I've got 2. Well, I know 2 plus 8 is another 10, and I know 10 plus 10 is 20. So when I see that 2, I say, oh, well, if I add 8 more, that's going to get me up to 20. So I thought of the same thing here. I have 10 and then I have 1 more. Well, I know 1 plus 9 is 10, so that would be 10 plus 10 is then 20. Okay, same thing. I know my combinations of 10. I know 7 plus 3 is 10. Plus 10 more would get me up to 20. So you want to kind of look for those friendly numbers that you can add together. Okay, over here we counted that Meg had 3, Dan had 7, Jen had 12. Well, I got to add those all together. So what I did is I added 3 plus 7 first because I know that combination of 10, and so that gave me 10, and then I added 2 more to give me 12. Okay, so name something that is about 1 foot. I actually said my laptop because I thought it would be about 1 foot, and then if you look, let me zoom back. My laptop is about 1 foot. It's a little bit more, but it was close to 1 foot. Okay. Aaron can jump 1 foot high. John can jump about 2 feet high. How much higher can John jump? Well, we know that we're talking about subtraction when it's how much higher. We always start with our bigger number. So in this case, 2, we take away the 1 foot that Aaron can also jump, and that leaves me 1 foot higher that John can jump than Aaron. Okay? Down here, we had a graph. Now, we didn't really even need to look at the numbers, okay? But I did want to show you that sometimes they skip numbers at each of the lines, so you need to be able to tell what the number is in between. But who read the most books? Well, we just look for the bar that goes up the highest. And when I look at all these bars, I can see that this one here, so that would be Grace, hers goes up to what would be 7, okay? So she read the most. Who read the fewest? So I look for the shortest bar. Well, it's that one here. I go down, that's Lily, and she read 2. So I wrote that there. Now, your number model could be is going to be completely different than mine, okay? Your number story. So I wrote a story to go with 4 plus 6 minus 5. So I said Abe had 4 blueberries, right here, on his plate. Then his dad gave him 6 more, okay? Then Abe ate 5 blueberries. So that's the minus 5. How many blueberries does Abe have now? Okay, now it didn't ask you to solve it. Now I could, but again, you want to kind of do the first part first. So 4 plus 6. Well, what's 4 plus 6? That would be 10. Well, 10 minus 5 is 5. So I could solve it and say that Abe has 5 blueberries. But they just wanted you to write a number story to go along with it. So here are your answers for the math for Wednesday, May 13th. Awesome job, everyone.